Game of Thrones.
Oh God.
Game of Thrones. Want to talk about it? Should we talk about it? What do you want to talk about? By the way,
Yeah.
spoilers, 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 spoilers. Not that we're live, but I'm going to probably make a video out of this. So, spoilers, 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 spoilers. The bells. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Fucking.
So overall, I just want to open up with I love Game of Thrones. It is a great series. I think back on the seasons that have happened, and there has been so much cool shit that has made sense. That feels like it was foreshadowing, and it meant something, and it was great. And now it's all going to shit, and it feels
Agreed.
vapid and shallow. And I'm still enjoying it because it's like the end of the show. But I'm so I don't like it.
On that note, I'd say if you took the 2 seasons that the writers and directors wrote themselves without J.R.R. Martin, they are great 2 seasons by themselves. They're good. They're good TV. However,
Sure.
they don't match up to everything. They're inconsistent with everything that led to that.
Sure. So let's not, I guess, sort of beat around the bush, talk around the bush. What do you guys think about Daenerys going full Mad Queen? Because that's sort of the big controversial thing that happened in the episode.
I don't hate that she went mad. I hate how they showed that process because it felt like it was all of a sudden nothing, and there was it was all of a sudden a snap that happened, and she didn't even fully snap.
Mm-hmm.
She just you don't even see her go crazy a little bit. It's just like she made a very un-Dany decision, and that's what it felt like.
Yeah, there's one angry face, and then she's burning the city for 20 minutes, and you don't even see her again.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like a mental Wah! She just started to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like if they would have had these little snippets of her kind of losing it, talking to herself, being like, "I'll fucking burn you," or you know what I mean? Have these little moments where you're like, "Oh, she's going mad for sure." She thinks she's going mad. If she just would have even doubted her own sanity before that moment, I don't know. It feels very
I feel like they were going that way here and there throughout the series. That she is her father's son or her father's daughter. However, they kept going wishy-washy back and forth with it so often that it seems like she was at a high point on not being insane, and then all of a sudden they just 360'd it because they ran out of time for the series.
That's yeah. I think you kind of nailed it, Max. So I actually don't have a problem really at all with her going Mad Queen. I think, again, Wifey and I watched the entire series leading up to this season over the past month, so we got to see Daenerys' character growing and evolving. They allude to her as going mad quite a bit. The issue, which I think, Max, you just brought up, is this season with only 6 episodes just did not give us enough time to build up to it, and because of that, she does things that are inconsistent with her character in general. I can understand her going mad and butchering the Lannisters, but when she starts burning civilians, it becomes, she's always been about protecting civilians, protecting the weak and innocent, and then
chains that's in her title.
Exactly. And also, I think a big issue. I think, Max, you hit the nail on the head again with this season, especially. I don't know how much of last season, but this season especially, Ger Martin really didn't write much of it. This is all the showrunners, and they sort of there's two, or not, there's not just two, but there's many different philosophies on writing. There's some that everything's hyper planned out, and you know exactly where you're going and how you're going to get there. But there's others that saying, when you're writing, you should sort of be on the journey with your characters and not necessarily know where it's going to end up. And I think both philosophies have their merit, but they have to be done correctly. And I feel like this season, the showrunners had decided at the beginning, we're going to make Dany the Mad Queen, and we're going to make her get there no matter the cost, and at the expense of a lot of other really good stories.
But okay, I understand where you're going with that, but why does that mean that you have to drop character development, or you have to make the characters choose something that they wouldn't do? I just feel like they can still choose to have Dany make this flip, but still make her make choices that make sense for her character.
Yeah, no.
Or give another reason.
Yeah,
Like-
it doesn't mean that, Zaya. No, you're right. You have to still be true to the character and develop it out, and that's the thing. This season's so short, and they obviously didn't do that well. Because yeah, it does feel very jarring, and all of a sudden, even to those of us who were paying attention and or who had just watched the rest of the series and saw all the signs. Like even like again, wife and I, we saw it coming, but it still felt sudden because it was so quick. We needed more time to establish it, I think.
Yeah. Like the second season or the second episode of this season where they're all at Winterfell and they're like we see these interactions between characters that like we've never seen before. That's probably my favorite episode of this season. And I feel like because they put so much time into that episode, it means that like that's a long time that they could have developed other stories. So I'm very conflicted.
Yeah. Agreed. Also, what I was saying earlier, like, they make Daenerys the Mad Queen at the expense of other characters, and the battle goes so poorly, so quickly, or becomes so one-sided so quickly that it sort of destroys all the tension that they had built up doing it. And also, they do so many 180s on just the rules within their universe. I don't know if you guys saw that text I sent you, the patch notes. Did you guys see that?
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Like that's basically what happened. Like a few, like, was it last episode or the one before, where it's like, oh, these scorpions are hyper accurate, but now this season, 1,000 scorpions can't hit Drogon once. It's like,
Yeah, not even his wings.
in
right?
the Battle of Winterfell, Viserion, I mean, I guess he's a white dragon, so maybe his fire is different, but that dragon's fire melted the wall, but it couldn't melt rock that Jon Snow was hiding behind. But then Drogon's fire literally melts the rock that makes it keep. Like,
Yeah, I was talking about that. It's like at least show that it's like lava breath or something. Like show bits of lava. Like it has force. It's hitting that with force.
yeah,
What is the force that's hitting it?
it's just this season just super inconsistent with the very rules that it establishes within its universe. And another rule of writing is it doesn't matter what the rules you make are, you just have to follow them. And that's what this season just broke a bunch.
Right. Well, and like I don't know, my like overall complaint is they've built up all these little these little things, these little moments, these little hints at things, a bunch of foreshadowing into every character, and then they don't follow through with it. So what was the point what was the point in making us think that like Jon Snow would be on Xeon High or the prince that was promised? What was the point in making us think that there was a connection between Tyrion and the dragons if there isn't one?
Mm-hmm. I mean, part of Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire, the book, the book series in general, is subverting expectations, but you have to do it tactfully, and you can't just subvert expectations to be edgy and just be like, yeah, fuck you. You thought this was gonna happen?
Well,
fuck you.
Subverting expectations, yes, but foreshadowing is such a huge part of George R. R. Martin's writing style.
It's huge. It's like you can't make it through a chapter without having 3 pages of foreshadowing thrown at you.
Yeah, like he will tell you something in like subvertently, like very very well masked foreshadowing, and it will come true in the story. That's what makes his writing so like interesting to me, is that I want to pay attention to the details because of that. And the show is doing that. The show is doing it for its first few seasons. You see the foreshadowing happening in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just, as soon as after the books, it just dropped off, which is fine.
They started cutting things.
Come on.
If we're gonna go full spoiler into the book, then have you read the books?
No, I have not. I mean, I've read some of. No. I've read some of the first one. But.
Book spoilers,
etc. They've ever since they started marrying characters, the foreshadowing started disappearing. For instance, there is another Aegon Targaryen. Dany's brother's out there in the books.
Nice.
Like her little brother, the youngest brother, supposedly the mountain smashed his head. Yeah, that brother's still out there somewhere. And like It wasn't Sansa that married Bolton.
Yeah, I've
other
heard stuff
things
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah, I mean that's inevitable with a show coming from a book. You have to truncate stuff.
Oh yeah.
But like, okay, my biggest thing this like the beginning of this season, the Red Queen told Arya that you will shut brown eyes, blue eyes, and green eyes.
That was a couple seasons ago, but
well, no, in the beginning of this season, she said it to her.
Oh, did she? Okay.
Yeah, in the Battle of Winterfell, she said it to her again, and she has not killed the green eyes yet, and they're leaning so hard into it that like if they try to make it,
Yeah.
it should.
Okay, I'll be okay.
Bye, Taco.
So, I have a fear that the green eyes will be Dany's eyes.
Oh, it probably will be. Yeah.
And if they are, such bullshit, because in the books and the show, they show her eyes being purple in the beginning. Like, oh, okay, Dany's eyes just changed colors completely, and we're gonna pretend that they're green. I hate that. That's
Especially when Cersei and her twin brother both had green eyes. Like, she could have killed one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and onto Cersei and Jaime. Like, one of the things I mean, this is sort of subjective at this point, but like, I hate that the last thing we feel for Cersei is almost bad for her. Like, is. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, why was I happy that she died with her brother?
Because you're a psychopath. No, but like, she is the real villain, at least of the show Game of Thrones. Like, and the last thing I felt for her was bad, because she's like she's totally lost. She's pregnant with child, and she's afraid to die. Like, I don't want to feel that way about Cersei. And again, I get it, subverting expectations, but you shouldn't just subvert expectations to subvert them. And by sending Jaime back to not kill her, like, you've just completely thrown away Jaime's arc, who arguably had one of the best arcs in the entire show.
All that character development
for nothing.
Nothing. For nothing.
That's what this whole season's been a lot of that. Like, oh, character development. Yeah, this is so good. Wait, what? like, you just killed my expectations.
I feel like of the characters that haven't like had their like stories ruined, I think that like Sansa's sitting pretty good. Sandor Clegane seems like he's like
dead. Oh,
like he did his storyline.
That's true.
Yeah.
I feel like they did him a good job. I feel like they're kind of fucking with Jon, but at least Jon feels like the same Jon. Yeah,
they didn't like make him go in and kill people.
Yeah. No, he was pretty consistent. So yeah, like, I think that the thing is, everyone, I don't really have a problem with the way anyone acted or any choices anyone make. It needed to be built up more. Like with Grey Worm, I sort of get it. Like, although the Unsullied until this point have shown nothing but restraint. Although I guess from his perspective, he just lost Missandei, the only like woman he's ever really loved, and he sees his queen is still fighting. So for him, he's like, well, my queen's still fighting, I'm still fighting.
Yeah, and he's the general, so he gets to make those decisions.
Yeah, but it just felt weird seeing Unsullied butcher unarmed people. It just
yeah. We should probably go ahead and let Tiki join us.
Yeah.
Fuck that. We ain't done yet.
1 second.
He's probably fucking mocha right now.
No, he's waiting.
The Golden Company.
Garbage. They got
useless.
Was a joke. And also, where are the Oliphants?
No, they addressed that, Z.
They didn't bring them.
They addressed that.
Yeah, they didn't bring them.
I forget.
They don't do well on ships.
Oh yeah, the ships. That's such a cop out.
No, but yeah, they talk about so much about how the Golden Company is like the best army in the world, and they just get fucking
melted.
Yeah, which again, I thought I don't even necessarily have a problem with that. It's just I don't like being. It felt like they were doing this weird yo-yo thing with us, where they're like, "Oh, expect this. We're gonna go the other way. Their forces are evenly matched. Well, fuck you. It doesn't matter. We have a spaceship named Drogon that can just kill everything."
Remember all those Dothraki dying and how you mourned an entire people? Just kidding.
Just kidding. There's plenty.
Ready to rape some people.
There's plenty left. Oh, the Dothraki must be like, finally. We get to fucking rape some Westerners. This will be great.
There's only like 10 of us left, but
no. And I guess that's going backwards a little bit, but no, there's half left.
Half.
So there's like 50,000 of them still.
Oh, I didn't even catch that they were half left. Wow.
Yeah.
So-
Sorry, go.
No, it's good. Where I was just wanting to wrap it up. Where do you think it's gonna go?
I don't know.
What do you think the end is gonna be?
I think I think a good prediction is that Dany has Jon executed like Ned Stark style, like the very first episode, and Arya sees it happening and then kills Dany. Or I think maybe Arya kills Dany and wears her face,
Oh my god.
and
Jesus
she
Christ.
rules as Dany.
Holy shit, that would be. I would accept that. That would be.
That would turn it all
something that would
around.
Break my Yeah, that would turn it all around.
I kind of want. I think I agree that would be great. I want Arya to kill Drogon, and I want
How?
it to be revealed that Drogon had green eyes.
He has orange eyes.
How the fuck would she kill Drogon?
I'm
Scorpion right
telling
down
you.
the roaring mouth.
I want Bran to kill Dany with a dragon
Oh my god. Warg into the dragon.
and eat her.
Oh
And
yeah, you
then-
don't know about the warging. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, it's a whole nother
I think Bran is done. I think we should get rid of Bran.
thing, probably.
Um,
However,
I
I
think.
think
Sorry,
what
go.
they need to do, since they already destroyed the throne and the castle and King's Landing, everybody needs to go their separate ways at the end. Dany needs to die, and everyone needs to go their separate ways. And the Seven Kingdoms are no longer.
Like there's no
7 separate
throne to
kingdoms, yeah.
game.
Yeah,
Although, yeah, there's like no one left. There's like Dorne and the North, and then Dany, and all of Dany's forces. That's it. And then the Iron Islands, I guess. But, yeah, no, I think we're being set up for Arya to kill Dany. Although, again, I wouldn't be surprised if something else random, unexpected happens. I mean, no one really picked
Subverting
Arya.
expectation.
Yeah,
fucking
no one.
Davos comes in and becomes the Onion King.
The Onion King.
Onion King.
Shit. Yeah,
I
don't know.
want Sansa to be Queen of the North.
I don't know how they could turn it around at this point, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, spend time, ladies and gentlemen. Spend time developing your characters, and
All
And
of their-
commit.
commit.
Don't change their personalities in the last what?
The thing is, yeah. Again, I saw the arc leading to Mad Queen. It just happened too quickly over this season.
And too subtly.
So a way they could have done it, and I talked to Z about this. Remember the bitch in the lacquer mask?
The woman.
The painted mask on the Eastern continent
Oh.
that would come around and talk to Dany, and no one else saw that.
Yeah,
That lady?
or Jorah. She's talked to Jorah a few times. I think her name's Quaithe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if she came back and she was actually like a figment of Dany's imagination the entire time, and like caused her to go insane? That would have been
Yeah,
a
I mean,
fine.
they could have done it. I think I saw an article showing of someone who just like switched a few scenes around and made it just doing that made it more believable. So I don't think they had to do much. They just didn't. They just didn't do a good job.
didn't.
They just didn't. Yeah. And I don't know. They didn't have the supervision of the Gur Martin. I don't know. But we'll see. One more episode, and then it's all over.
Yep.
Take it slow.